yes, we do have clients that are becoming bestsellers, but like we're all running businesses, okay? So we're using the book because we know that people buying our plan of cares can be a really hard sell sometimes, right? It's not that they don't have the money. It's just that they don't want to let go of those resources because they don't feel like you're valuable enough yet.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. This episode, we're going to talk about how you can actually write a book, how you can write a really, really, really amazing book using artificial intelligence and yourself. And I'm going to walk you through step by step of the entire process. And I actually just did this podcast, but I ran out of storage on my phone. So anyways, it's okay. I'll say it again because I think this is so important. I'm going to walk you guys through the entire process. I just finished wave 4 of clients that have come in by the end of this weekend. So today is kind of an off day, but I'm actually consulting with a client. And then tomorrow we start our 5th wave of our book events. We have helped 40 people, not just, oh yeah, we got a book out there. No. Write a book, finish the book. And these people are all getting these books published within 30 days. And they are really, really, really good books. These are not crappy books. That's just a bunch of AI generated muck. And it's really pretty incredible of what you can do. So anyways, these events are part of my Platinum Mastermind program. After this event, we are going to be offering these events in the future to the public. It's going to be $5,000. You'll hear the process, and I'm going to teach you the process today. And if you want to run with the process, go do it yourself. You know, if you want my help, you want my team's help so that you get all the way to the finish line, well, that's going to take 3 days of my time and 2 hours of prep work. So yeah, you're going to pay $5K. All right. So anyways, with that said, let me tell you the process. And my hope today is that you run with it. All right. Oh, and by the way, for those that are like, no, I don't want to do this myself, you can text us, when is your next book event, to 813-534-6453. Okay. All right. That's it. Let's go through the process. So here's how I do it. Okay. And how I even came up with it. Let me talk about how I came up with it first. This was through a problem that I needed to solve because I created the problem. Okay, this is 2023, my live event. I had all these amazing speakers. There's one speaker there, this awesome guy. He helped me with writing my first book, and we were able to get it done in about 2 months. We were using AI. It wasn't as good as what it is today, but we're using AI. I let him speak at my event. He said he would help my clients that bought my main program write a book during their year with me. And it didn't go well, just a lot of different things. I don't want to blame him, whatever, but it just is what it is. But I have a brand. I owed it to my clients. And for the last 2 years, I've been on a mission to figure out how to do this in a way that lines up with my brand and my integrity, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been learning from other people, trying to figure out AI to be able to do this. But at the same time, everything that I do is very personal and very story driven. And I wanted to make it work like that. And it took us about 8 months of really diving into it to crack the code on it. And now we have a really, really clean system. So here's the system. We start with 2 virtual workshops. They are an hour each. And we basically get the following. Number 1 is you cannot write a book without an audience. You need to at least have an understanding, not some big following. You don't need any of that. Okay. You can have 0 followers, but you need to have an understanding of the people that you're serving. And we use GPT to be able to, we ask it, about 3 to 4 different questions, specific questions that get us information. Sorry about the motorcycle. It gets us information about our audience that allows us to understand and know our audience better than 95% of our competitors, maybe even 100% of our competitors. And that is the first thing that we do, okay? After we do that, then we create something called a brainstorming document. A brainstorming document is, okay, if we're going to write a book, we need to have something that's going to stick out, okay? We can't have a book that's just saying the same thing of what everybody else is saying, because then it's not going to stick out. So what we're doing is we're trying to create an alternative way, an alternative path, a radical idea that is going to make people say, I never thought of that, because we want the book to change someone's life, okay? And so that's what we do next, all right? And we do all of that through what we call a brainstorming document, okay? We're brainstorming different ideas, different alternative ways, and we start picking, okay, what's the angle that I want to take with this book, all right? Okay, and please understand, the primary purpose of the book is for us to be able to get more authority with our audience and to eventually lead people to other offerings that we have, okay? That's the purpose. Yes, we do have clients that are becoming bestsellers, but like we're all running businesses, okay? So we're using the book because we know that people buying our plan of cares can be a really hard sell sometimes, right? It's not that they don't have the money. It's just that they don't want to let go of those resources because they don't feel like you're valuable enough yet. So a book just helps to increase your perceived value. And it's a very easy entry, right? It doesn't cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost $600 for a book, right? 20, 30 bucks, and then they're good to go, right? So you bring in so many more people, so many more leads, so many more clients. And then you also bring in much more quality clients because they're consuming your stuff. Okay. All right. With that said, let's get back to it. So we did the audience documents. We've done the brainstorming document. And once we've done all of that, then we're pretty much done with the first workshop. Like, that's it, okay? And what the client's responsibility is, yes, GPT is giving us some amazing information, and it is able to pull so many things, especially in the new ChatGPT 5.0. It's pulling so many things that it would take you months to be able to pull. And then we're using those documents to then lead to the second workshop. And the second workshop, what we're doing is we are coming up with all of that information. We're feeding it the information we got from the first document, and it's helping us with coming up with different tips, different hacks, different methods. We're taking all the stuff you guys have in your brain that only you know, and it's turning it into systems. So that these are systems that we can talk about very, very, very clearly in our book. So we do that, and then we start to build out the team that's gonna help you write the book, okay? And the first person on your team is your ghostwriter, okay? And the ghostwriter, just for those of you that have ever tried to write a book or you've written a book, you know that like either you have to write the book or you got to pay somebody else to write the book on your behalf, right? I've always just hated the idea of writing a book. This year, I'm on my 7th book. I'm actually writing number 8 this weekend. I decided to write a book this weekend with this final group. And I've been able to do that within 8 months. So I'm like basically doing a book a month, and my books are selling, and my audiobooks of the books are selling, and it's just going so good and bringing so many new entry customers. And those customers are ascending very fast, right? So anyways, I say all that because it's a lot of work if you're writing a book on your own, or you pay a ghostwriter. And a ghostwriter usually is anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000. And here's what a ghostwriter does. What a ghostwriter does, the first thing they do is they say, hey, I want to do a Zoom meeting, or I want to meet with you, and you got to tell me about, what you know, blah, 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 blah. And they start taking all the notes, and guess what they do? They start writing. Well, guess what we do? We just use a custom GPT. I've trained it to be a very, very successful ghostwriter. And all we do is we say, hey, we've trained a ghostwriter to ask you all these things about your audience, which we got from the first workshop. We give it to the ghostwriter, and then the ghostwriter creates a profile for themselves, right? And so we want the ghostwriter to be very, very, very similar to who your audience is, right? And it pulls it from your audience, and then your ghostwriter now has an avatar, and they have the skills. They have the skills because we've trained it to be a really, really, really like competent ghostwriter. But everybody's ghostwriter is different because everybody's audience is different, right? So that's what we do, all right? And then after we do that, we come up with the titles of your book. So we have a custom GPT. We actually have 24 different custom GPTs that basically do all these things that we need to do in the book, okay? And we just bring people through all of these processes. It's so clean. It is so phenomenal of how we have pulled this off, right? And so that's what we do. And then they come here, okay? And when they get here, here's what we do next. First thing we do is we do the book cover, okay? We use an AI platform to be able to create a book cover. Book cover usually is anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000, okay? And we're able to do it for free, right? And it creates amazing book covers. So we have a private custom GPT that actually creates book covers for people, okay? And it takes all your information that you have in your book. It takes your title of your book, and then you basically use this prompt. We put it into another platform, and it creates the book covers in minutes. Okay, and then we take that book cover, we put it inside another platform called Canva, and Canva allows us to clean up the book cover, and then that's it. We have the book cover done. Okay, here's what we do after that. This is all on day one in the morning. Then in the morning, we start working on our outline. Probably the hardest part, because you have to have a book that's going to make sense, and it's going to flow well, and it's going to like just really, really, really sound good and make sense. And I tell my clients, every chapter should stand on its own, because if we're doing 10, 14, 15 chapters in a book, I want people to look at the table of contents, and if they just look at one chapter, like, this alone is worth it. So I have a framework of the beginning of what the beginning of the book should talk about, what the middle of the book should talk about, and what the end of the book should talk about. Okay. And so that's it. The beginning of the book, usually it's, you've got to change your thinking, right? And then the middle of the book, you got to kind of give them like, okay, these are the steps of how you get this result. And then the end of the book is like, okay, what's next? Like, is this all there is to it? Or is there like another level to this, right? And so that's what we do. And we work on the outline. And then what I have to do is I have to go through everybody as they're working on their outline. Yes, we have the custom GPTs that help them start it, but there's a lot of tweaking with it. And that's what I help them with. So I privately just work with everybody until we've got their outline dialed in. We take all of those things that we have done between the workshop 1, workshop 2, and the first part of day 1, and we put it all into, and a ghostwriter, and we put it all into a custom GPT that actually starts to write the chapters of your book. And what we do is we break up the chapters of the book into 5 parts so that it doesn't overwhelm the AI system. And the 5 parts are, we talk about your story first so that the book feels personal. Then we go into the main theme of the chapter. Then we talk about how to do the main theme of the chapter so the book is super practical. Then we talk about tips and tricks and systems that you can use in order to achieve that. And then we finish off with the story and we lead them into the next chapter. And that's basically what we do, okay? And we do that for like another day and a half. And once we finish that and they finish the first draft of their book, then we take that draft and we put it into another private GPT, and it creates the introduction and the back cover of the book. Okay. We spend the remainder of the time, myself, my team, my 8 full-time VAs, we start editing their books. Okay. And we have a private GPT that helps us with that process as well. It is a lot of work, but we're able to do it all in 3 days. And we are able to get them to be able to have not only their first draft of the book, but their second edited draft. We spend day 3, the final day, we spend using an AI platform that takes what they have inside of their book and it starts to make pictures and images, and it's so good. By the way, it's called Ideogram, okay? Ideogram.ai. And so it takes the pictures, it takes the images, and it brings it inside. And basically, after that, we just talk about how you're going to market the book, and we start to put all of that together. We help them with marketing it. And then we're pretty much done, you know, when we get the book out and it gets out in 30 days, how we're going to get to Amazon Bestseller. We have a software that tells us exactly what category they're in, how they're going to get to bestseller status, you know, ASAP. That's how we do it. So guys, honestly, every single one of you should do a book. You really should, because of everything I said earlier in the podcast. And you know, it's just a matter of like, are you going to do it now, or are you just going to continue to wait? You know, AI is not the end all be all, but man, it makes things so much faster. You know, I mean, even, you know, here, one thing I forgot to say is that then after we do the book, we're able to show them how we take the book and turn it into an audiobook where they are actually speaking the book, and we use a platform called 11 Labs for it. It's just so good, man. It's so good. And I highly recommend for you all to do this for yourself. And I hope that helped you. I hope that served you. I was able to do it under 15 minutes. So that's it. We'll see you next time.